All right, well, devotees from all over the nation flocked to the Lord Venkateswara Swamy Temple on the Tirumala Hills 2 days prior to the Vaikunta Ekadasi festival to obtain tokens for the annual Vaikunta Dwara Darshan, where more than 90 ticket counters operated. Tokens were being distributed at the NGM High School in Beragi Patedada near the Vishnu Nivasam Temple. By evening, the crowd became unruly, leading to pushing and jostling and shoving, which killed 6 people and injured over 40 others. At least 5 of the victims are women, and the injured pilgrims, many of whom hail from Tamil Nadu, were rushed to the hospital for treatment. Visuals showed several people being moved to ambulances and a significant police presence in the area. The TTD chairman, P.R. Naidu, stated that the stampede started when a gate was opened to help a woman who was unwell, but the crowd suddenly rushed forward, causing chaos. The lack of adequate arrangements to manage the crowd resulted in a stampede. Several people said that the police had been negligent. Additionally, locals claimed that the absence of ambulance drivers delayed the transfer of the injured to the hospital. Meanwhile, the Andhra Pradesh government has ordered an inquiry into the accident, and Andhra Pradesh government announced an ex-gratia of 25 lakh rupees to the family members of the devotees who were killed in the stampede incident. We'll talk about this with our guests as well. Jyotsna Tirunagari, national spokesperson of the TDP, joins us on the show. Uma Anandan, BJP councillor, with us on the program as well. Brigadier V.K. Khanna, former member of the NDMA, is with us on the show as well. Shekhar Vijayan, political analyst, is also going to give us his take on what really transpired here. But before we in fact take expert opinion, I'm going to go over to the big screen and try and explain what really happened. How is something like this orchestrated? How is something like this made possible without, of course, negligence by part of the agencies and the authorities that are supposed to take care of overcrowded places? Well, allocate a part of the temple fund to appoint special crowd management agency is a solution or a step that we propose that adequately will make sure that the safety of the people or the visitors or the devotees is taken care of. Step 2, concert, airport, stadium type corridors to ensure maximum possible discipline. Of course, the infrastructure bit was also highlighted by a number of artists who in fact held concerts in India, and they said that the infrastructure in India does not support crowd management. Rope in crowd management experts to form special authority, have people who analyze and assess what keeps the crowds disciplined when such a thing happens. Authorities to make uniform guidelines for all temple trusts as well. This is not the first time a stampede has transpired at a holy place, and this won't be the last until and unless some measures are implemented. Regular inspection and review during special events to be ensured. Remember that the Kumbh Mela is also going to be taking place in Uttar Pradesh, which is of course going to be a congregation of lakhs and lakhs of people. Perhaps that would be a discipline to emulate. Of course, there has to be deterrent for people who are going to be violating some of these rules. They will be blacklisted to ensure discipline is maintained and people in fact follow the rule of the law for not only their safety but the safety of others as well. This is something which obviously ought to be written in the rule books of all temples, of all people who are dealing with crowds. But is it happening? And if it's not, then what explains the delay? What explains the apathy towards life when a congregation like this is supposed to be handled? Brigadier Khanna, I'll begin with you. So what do you make of this tragedy that has happened? It's very, very, formal for every government official or a politician to come forth after the death has taken place and announce an amount or an ex gratia to the deceased or the people who have been injured. But the fact of the matter is, if the same money that is being given to these people after they have died is used to protect them, it would be a better idea. Don't you think so?
There is no doubt on that only. I think this is a very unfortunate. In fact, when I was in the NDMA, of course, I have gone there to the Tirupati for conducting some of those, trainings part, as also on the mock exercise which I did it. Not only from the crowd management side, also from the point of view of in case there is some terrorist attack does take place at any particular time. Some suggestions I had made it at a particular time Some of course they were accepted, and some of them they were not, basically because of some of the political reasons, etc. And of course, from the so. But coming back to whatever happened, so what is the stampede? Basically, is a more number of people of getting together at one particular place than they are expected when impossible. Like we are saying it from the point of view of the expert that in one particular escape, not more than 5 people should have been there. But yes, no more people they would have come. But they this is basically because there is some the arrangements were not there. So I would say that this is a failure on the part of the management of particular, so they who were particularly responsible, not the overall the person who was there at that time. I'm very sure they have a very elaborate system of working out there. Only there has been some in fact people who have not done their duty, etc. That is where, of course, those people only they have been taken to the task and then taken action. I'm saying this person who was medically responsible for getting the whole thing done. This is annual affair. I mean, as far as this token giving is annual affair, etc., they give it, and then of course they know it. How many people do they come? What make, I mean, adequate arrangement for the police. They have got their own police also there. Only they got some police. They come from the Andhra Pradesh police. They got the ambulances. They were supposed to have been there only, depending upon how many are required. And they could have been, in fact, making the effort to make sure that the adequate number of people are there, and they can, of course, streamline the token system, etc. There is a need for the detailed inquiry, and then, in fact, impartial inquiry. That is what I was saying. Impartial inquiry should be there, and although some of the experts, etc., they will be able to tell them what has gone wrong. And I would sincerely request that this particular this is so action, whatever is required, so should be in fact taken so that doesn't take place. In fact, I mean, Tirupati is one of the area besides, of course, the Vaishnavi sister. They got in fact very good elaborate system. Okay. IAS officers are basically the full at the rank of very senior IAS officers, because who is the CEO, and similarly for the DD, DIG, etc., who is a security specialist. So they are very expert. They know about that only. They do their duty. They have got very system. I have seen them, and for some copies also there with me. So what is in fact the secure. I mean, the security point of view, disaster management point of view, crowd management, etc. They've done it. So there has been some lapses. I won't talk about the terrorists, etc. That will not be correct on my part here on the discussion. But yes, they have got that particular the aspects, etc. So let the inquiry come out with whatever actually has happened, and let those whoever is responsible, action should be taken, and lessons learned from here only should not be repeated. Thank you.
Nandan, BJP councillor, on what could have been done in a better fashion to avoid these people from unnecessarily dying because of poor arrangement and discipline oriented at some of these places. Nandan, what do you make of this tragedy, and how do you think one is supposed to protect at least people who have gone to worship their faith, have gone to in fact appreciate their good fortune, and end up like these 5 people did in Tirupati? Nandan?
Yes. See, it's very sad. First, I would like to really pray for the departed souls. I would like to say that I think there has been enough. See, they have issued tokens in about 95 places or somewhere. So they have taken that to care. They have been careful to see that the crowd has been spread. And I think the mistake here was an injured lady or a sick lady who had to be taken out from that crowd. And when the gate was opened, so I think basically it is also the public who have to be taught as to how they cannot break rules. They have to be disciplined in such gathering. Of course, a mistake is perhaps the lack of police personnel or somebody. And as you rightly suggested, I think the increasing crowds in such festival, on such occasions, I think the event management or a specialized, we should start thinking on those lines. And as you rightfully said, the Kumbh Mela is just around the corner.
In your video, we'll come back to you momentarily. Let me also rope in Jyotsna Tirunagri, national spokesperson of the TDP, into this. Jyotsna ji, the political blame game has not started as yet as to whose fault it is, but I agree with what Umanandan said, that a large part of this can be attributed to the discipline that people should be following themselves when they go to such places.
Namaskar and Om Namo Venkateswara. And first of all, condolences to those families who have lost their dear members, and also we apologize because as bhaktas, the Lord Venkateswara Swamy's devotees, we apologize to what has happened in Tirumala Tirupati yesterday because it was completely unfortunate. And one thing is very sure, we cannot undo the pain caused by this tragedy. But yes, there are certain measures, and actually I'm talking about the accountability that needs to be fixed. Yes, my government is there. Yes, we are there in power, but whoever it is, see, today we had the Honorable Chief Minister go there and talk to the officials and literally ask them, what have you guys done? Where have you gone wrong? There was a point of wherein they could hold 2,000 people. If more people were coming there, what were the extra arrangements that were made? So there is something called Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. We call it contingency planning also. So definitely the authorities there need to answer first. That thing is something we will not shy away in saying that also. I'll tell you one thing, because one thing, we need to acknowledge the grief of the families, and also we need to accept the lapses if any have occurred, because if you don't accept now, we cannot rectify them for future, is what our thought is. And again, sorry to say, but I think the political blame game from the opposition party has started. They are just linking it to some things out of the world, which I know I don't want to talk about it, because I am not politically talking on this, because I am really worried about the people who are injured. I'm really worried about the next 10 days. The entire, thing has to go smoothly without any iota of issue there. That's my entire thing. And again, one thing I would, talk about it, if I have to give you the clear picture of what has happened was, yes, there was a woman who was sick. Suddenly she fell or she fainted. So the police personnel there tried to shift her from that particular point of time. But time and again, it had to be announced that the gates are not opened for the tickets. The gates are only been opened just to remove that woman from that particular point, which I think there is a discrepancy there. Some are saying it was done, some are saying that it was not done. So an inquiry is on that particular issue. Second thing is, there is also a question that has been raised on the ambulance drivers not being around when the particular incident happened, and there is a question that's been raised on the DSP Ramana Kumar, who literally there is a question that has been raised by some, saying that he was callous in his attitude, which this all are preliminary reports, so we need to have a proper inquiry on that. But yet our government, because today Honorable Chief Minister is there, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister is there, Honorable Ministers are there, TTD Chairperson is there, TTD board members are there, the entire staff is there. And after this particular incident, things, they went on, the tickets were issued, everything happened. But even before that also, if you remember, for the past 3 days, regular review meetings and regular review of the places where the queue lines were set up were done physically by the TTD Chairperson, Shri B.R. Naidu Garu. So everything we try to, do as much as possible from our end. But yes, there was something that transpired into an unfortunate incident, and some are talking about some other, some people saying that there is some social media, I think advertisement also saying that no, the tickets have been given beforehand. So there is something mischief that has also happened. This is all speculation. So we have ordered a thorough probe into it, investigation into it, and whoever is responsible, Being in the government, I am telling you very clearly, whoever is responsible will be taken to task, because this is completely unacceptable. We cannot accept it that something like this has happened in the holy shrine of Tirumala. And the government, and also I would like to add on one more point here. The government is with the injured today. Yes, we cannot bring back the people who have gone, and we cannot undo the pain, but we are with the people, we are with the injured, we are with the bereaved families. We offer our entire support to the bereaved families and also the injured families and all, and we appeal to all the devotees of Lord Sri Venkateswara that kindly please be calm and composed. Lord is with all of us. We'll have a beautiful darshan of Lord Sri Venkateswara on Vaikunta Ekadasi. There, all the measures have been taken, barricades are set up, everything is in control. So please maintain calm and composure is what I appeal to all the devotees of Lord Sri Venkateswara.
Shekhar, what do you make of this? It's there are obviously two sides of looking at the situation in this equation. One is, of course, the civilian side, Shekhar, where our responsibilities and duties, need to be analysed as to what we could have done. And secondly, of course, the state will always be held responsible for crowd management.
Yes, Vinny. My condolences to the bereaved family, and I think it's a very, very sad day. Very unfortunate to see this happening. But I think the larger question here, we need this, and like all our fellow panelists have been alluding to, is where is the accountability? Where is the responsibility? This has happened here in Tirupati. This can happen in any part of India, and it's happened in the past too. Is there a central authority which is going to take accountability for this? Is there a crowd management plan in place? How are we planning something like this? I am in Kerala, and I know places like Guruvayur, Shabrimala are like disasters waiting to happen. This is going to happen in the future, because you will have pilgrims coming in and swarming in and crowding in on auspicious days. What is the plan in place by the state government? What is the plan in place by the central government? Is there a central authority in place? Is there an advisory board which actually takes care of things? I don't believe this is not impossible. See, a couple of years back in the COVID era, we had measures which took place and everything was safe and smooth. Why can't it happen again? Now, as you mentioned, there's a Kumbh Mela which is coming up. There will be all eyes in India. Why can't we have a playbook on place? And more than anything else, how many heads are going to be rolled? Ultimately, what really matters here is people are dead. We will express our condolences for them, but where is the buck going to stop? What's going to happen here? Is there no value for human life? Like, people had gone there to pray, and that's like those were the last prayers there. It's so unfortunate. It's so bad. It's so desolate. It's so terrifying. I'm scared to send my mom to the temple. I'm so scared to send my elderly mom to, say, Guruvayur or Shabrimala, because I'm scared there would be a huge crowd there. This is a normal citizen talking to you, and we need to really think about this in a more matured manner about what is the policy we have in place. Is there a central authority which is going to sign off on this? Why can't social media be used well? Is there a dry run? Were there dry runs which were done earlier in the past? We know this happens every year. We know there's a Kumbh Mela which is going to happen. We know there is going to be a crowd which comes in here at this point of time in the temple. Where were dry runs being done? If dry runs were being done, was there a business continuity plan in place? We have seen that. We work in companies, we work in hospitals, we work in various parts of the world. There are BCPs which happen, business continuity planning. Why can't this happen here? Why can't there be a proper plan in place when such huge crowds come in, when such huge crowds swarm in? Why is there no plan? Why is there no authority? Why is there no accountability? And we are talking about temples which get such huge funds from devotees who spend all the money, spend all the life savings to come in for such an important occasion, and they're paying for it with their lives. This is certainly not done. I think what's really important is there should be a task force. There should be a central authority which decides how the temples operate in terms of these auspicious occasions. And why can't social media be used well? Why is social media only used for fake news? Why can't social media be used here in terms of giving out the right kind of information? Why can't signages be used? Why can't there be a proper communication plan? From what I understand is there was a complete breakdown of communication from the top till the bottom. Now, it doesn't make any sense for the chief minister to come in there and come in and express his condolences, because yes, the damage has been done. People have lost lives. We cannot do anything about it right now. But what's important is I'm sure there is a disaster which is waiting to happen in other parts of India. We have seen that in the past. We've seen stampedes happening in the past. It can happen because of any reason. Somebody is injured, somebody is sick, somebody makes a cat call, all things happen. What is the remedy for it? Like, what is the plan for it? And I think we all need to get together and create an action plan. And there should be something which should be a call to action. If this happens in a corporate office, or this happens anywhere else, there is so much of uprising. People make changes. Change happens. This has to happen in India. And I'm not saying it's impossible. We have done this in the past. We have done this. We have been successful. There are events of larger nature which have happened in India, and no mishaps have happened. I just feel that we need to be very clear. There needs to be accountability. There needs to be a central authority. And there needs to be, social media needs to be used very well in terms of communication, in terms of signage, in terms of guideline, and in terms of a proper communication plan, in terms of dry runs, in terms of what needs to be done if an event of this nature happens again. What is the plan? It should not result in the stampede like this where people get injured and people die. I don't think this is the right way. And I just feel sad about this. I feel that, we are capable of so much more, but I really think concrete action really needs to be taken, and accountability needs to be answered in plain letters.
All right. Well, we've received some important feedback here, and we are also positive that this feedback is also going to resonate with authorities and people alike who are listening in to this conversation. All right. Well, we've run out of time. Appreciate everybody who joined us on this marvelous show. We're going to dip into a short break now. Be right back.